Jackie, I must tell you and the listeners a funny story that happened to me. I'm a musician, and I was working in the Celtic Manor Hotel. It's a long way from here. It's 110 miles.
I know the Celtic Manor.
Pardon?
I know the Celtic.
Right, well, I'd driven there, I'd arrived, and I was a little bit later than I wanted to be. And I sat down very quickly, and I had, it's background music, people are drinking and chatting, and so when I sit down, there's no sort of everybody looking around, but a couple of people do, and I deliberately had this few moments of composing myself, whatever you want to call it, and a guy came over to me after I'd sung the first song, and he said, "Excuse me, love, can I ask you, what was all that about then, before you started singing?" And I thought, well, there's two, I can either just make something up or I can just tell the truth. And I thought, well, stuff it, with all the background I've got now with the metaphysics I'm doing, I thought I'd just come out, right out of the closet. So I said to him, well, since you've asked, and if you must know, I was grounding myself. I was bringing myself into the present moment. And I sort of took a deep breath and I said, and I was saying thank you to my guardian angel for bringing me here safely and on time, and hoping that we'd have a nice evening together in the bar and music. And his jaw dropped to the floor, and he looked at me and he said, "Do you know any Elton John, love?" But the gorgeous thing about the end of this story, at the end, he came up to me, sozzled, I'd have to say, around midnight. Yeah. And he came out, he said, "Excuse me, you said thanks to your guardian angel. I'm going to tell you something. I've got a guardian angel, and I've never told anyone that before." Yes, I thought it was lovely, and he's absolutely not the first person. And I suppose you have many of those stories. So if we go back to your
drunk ones.
Pardon?
I do have a drunk one. Let me tell you my drunk one.
Oh, yes.
I was in a local pub, because even the angel lady goes in the local pub, and this guy came over to me and he said, "Oh, I know who you are." He said, "I read your column." And I kind of automatically went, "Oh, thank you very much, big mistake." And he turned around and he said to me, "It's a load of rubbish, isn't he?" He said, "All this angel stuff." And I was a bit taken aback, but, just sort of kept the humour and said, "Oh, well, yes, some people believe and some don't." Anyway, he disappeared and he came back 3 pints later, and he did that same sort of furtive thing when he kind of went, "Well," he said, "I had an experience once, and kind of looked around to make sure that nobody was looking." And he just sort of described something, very straightforward. He felt somebody with him one day. But it was the fact that he didn't want to admit it in front of his mates, but once he'd had a few pints, he was up for talking about it. So maybe that's fairly common, You don't be drunk to talk about your guardian angel.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.